All right, this is from my friend Colleen, whose horse is not changing with his rear end, going from the left to the right lead. She was, but now she's not. The reason for that is because she's not setting up correctly. When we set up a horse for a lead change, we move the shoulder to the left so that we can push the hip to the right of the shoulder. So here I'm coming across the arena on a little bit of a diagonal. That's the way I want Colleen to do this in the show. So we're not going to come straight across the middle. And then when I got to the fence, I stopped and I side passed the horse to the left. And that's to encourage that horse to get his shoulder to the left so that he'll be in position to push his hip to the right. So I'm going to come around, I'm going to come on the same angle again. This time, I'm going to ask him to side pass from a walk rather than from a standstill. So there, I got him straight on the line. I'm trot him a little ways. When I like his trot, I'm let him walk. When I like his walk, I'm going to block his forward motion with my hand, especially my right rein, and I'm going to side pass him to the left. Here I'm waiting for him to soften his face a little. And there, I'm side pass to the left. And then when I like the way he stands still, I'm going to ask him for some vertical flexion. When I like the way he stands still, I'm going to walk him off, lope him. I'm going to do the same thing again. Now, when I side pass him, I don't care where his head is. I don't care where his tail is. I only care that my saddle points to the direction that I've chosen for it to point. Now, here he's being a little rude in his face, so I'm softening him up before I allow him to lope. I never let a horse go to the next step until they do the first step correctly. Now, this is not Colleen's horse. She lives a ways away from here, so I'm demonstrating on one of mine. I'm hoping that will help her with her horse. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to get him on the same line again, and this time I'm going to do the exact same thing, but from a trot. I'm going to ask him to side pass. I'm going to block his forward motion with my right hand, a little bit with my left. I'm going to make sure my saddle keeps pointing the direction that I have chosen for it to point. After he side passed, I waited for him to give me vertical flexion. When I liked the way he was standing still, I asked him to walk. When I liked the way he was walking, I asked him to lope. Now, when I say I liked the way he was standing still, what I mean by that is that if I had done nothing, he would have continued to stand still willingly. And when I say I liked the way he walked, what I mean by that is that if I had done nothing, he would have continued to walk like a machine, basically. I'm going to do the same thing, this time from a lope. So there I asked him to side pass with my right leg, and I blocked his forward motion with my hand. This horse is a little greener than Colleen's horse, but it'll be the same concept. Now there, that horse volunteered to walk off before I asked him to. So I asked him again for vertical flexion, and I allowed him to stand still. When I liked the way he was standing still, I asked him to walk. When I liked his walk, I asked him to lope. Okay, that was good. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to ask him to speed up before he does. And it's important when we're working on lead changes that we have some momentum so that the period of suspension in the horse's stride is sufficient to get their legs changed around. So there, I got him straight, speed him up, let him coast a few strides, and I'm going to move him over. And you can see this horse is green. He's got some resistance there in the right side of his face. But this is the drill that we need to do to get him prepared for the lead change. If he prepares for the lead change correctly, then the lead change itself is very simple. So that's Colleen's horse needs work on preparing for the lead change. Okay, that's all there is to it. This is the drill that I want Colleen to do. And when you get it down, then I want you to send me a video of it if you would like, so I can tell if you're doing it right or not. This is easier to do in a snaffle than in a bit. In a bit, the horse will tend to hide from you. Snaffle, he might throw his head up, open his mouth, but it allows you the opportunity to access his body. And we're not actually technically trying to train his head and neck. We're trying to soften his body. And sometimes with a shanked bit, the horse will just hide from you. Okay, I'm going to do him once more. It's going to be the same thing. Get him straight, speed him up, move him over. And then if I wanted to, I would ask him to change at that point. But we're working on getting him to anticipate the preparation for the lead change rather than the lead change itself. Get him straight, speed him up, let him coast, move him over.